Hello and welcome to Gamer Girl ASMR finale. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I'm not going to keep going with this series and why Gamer Girl ASMR is now officially over. The biggest reason is that simply not doing the numbers I wanted to do, because the reason I kept going for so long was partially because I really enjoyed doing it, but also partially because the numbers on it were really immensely great. So that's was like the main reason why I kept doing it for like as long as I did. And now that like neither of these is true, like people still watch it and I'm still happy with like the reception generally. But it's like nowhere near as big as I wanted it to be, and that ultimately makes it not really worth doing for me personally. So this is why this is the finale, because I simply don't get the reception from the Gamer Girl ASMR that I wanted to. But that's not the only reason. I'm not just making content for like people to consume, although for some content it's important for me that people watch it. Like for stuff like Toad's Might Analysis, I don't really care if people watch it or not. Even though like a bunch of people watched it and I'm really happy with how it did. It was not my prime goal to get like people to watch it. I enjoyed making it. I wanted it to get made, so that's just how that went. But with Gamer Girl ASMR, I just simply don't enjoy making it enough to just make it for myself, because there are other things I enjoy making way more. So I'm going to mostly focus on those ones. So with Gamer Girl ASMR, the other thing is it's a weekly show by design. I don't think it would work if it's not weekly. And since it's a weekly show with a schedule, it means that I have to have like an episode out every week, which means that I have to spend like around 3 or 4 hours every week working on it, because it is, it is only like 1 hour long, but recording an episode takes around 2 hours probably on average, because I take breaks between takes and that's how it goes, and then recording the gameplay is also like kinda long. So yeah, it takes like 3 to 4 hours, and it leaves me exhausted because I have to play games, I have to be talking for a long time. So for me it's kinda hard to make Gamer Girl ASMR. It's not really an easy thing that I can just make. Now I am going to experiment with other podcasts. I'm gonna keep going making videos, and that's like the final reason is because I just want to make other types of videos right now. I want to make like other types of like more focus intensive videos. Right now currently I have to kind of focus out on Classics Cast number 2, because that's coming out when you're watching it. The video is coming out in 2 days, so Classics Cast number 3 is coming out in 2 days, and I'm having to really focus on it now. I personally right now have a week to do it, and it's good to have a week because I cannot get it done in 2 days. So that's something I have to focus on right now. Then I also have like other projects I want to focus more on. So Gamer Girl ASMR is just like here because I wasn't really making any other content, and having a weekly show to tide that period over was really helpful. But I think I'm gonna go back to making like more stuff and just uploading more in general. And I don't really need Gamer Girl ASMR to like keep my channel active and tide me over, I guess. So yeah, that's the reasoning why Gamer Girl ASMR in particular isn't going to be around. But I don't really want to go out on a whimper. I don't want to go like, hey, I'm just gonna stop doing Gamer Girl ASMR and it's just cancelled. So this is a 2 hour long Gamer Girl ASMR. So I don't know if anyone's gonna watch it. I don't know if anyone cares. But it's 2 hours long, and if you cared about this show, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this 2 hour show double feature is enough to like make you happy with like the outcome of everything. So why is this set to the Binding of Isaac? That's the other matter to address here. Why are you looking at the Binding of Isaac? Well, because the person in my life who has influenced me the most is Northern Lion, or at least like YouTuber, I guess, or celebrity maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really influenced by Northern Lion and everything he does, and the way he acts and his cadence and his sense of humor are all like giant influences on me. So this is why I'm playing The Binding of Isaac. It's like a throwback, and I want to talk about Northern Lion and The Binding of Isaac now a bit, because first of all, The Binding of Isaac is something I have played on and off for a while. I've at some point gotten like a really decent save file, but every time I go back to trying to play it, I just want to start from the beginning. I don't want to start midway through, which is why I'm just starting from the very beginning right now too. So that's what's going on screen. I'm just playing The Binding of Isaac from the start on a new save file, and I really like the game. I spent like a lot of my childhood playing it, and actually, if you could go like way back and if you could see videos that are now deleted, the first videos I ever uploaded were the Binding of Isaac videos. Because when I was around 11 or 12, I had this idea that I was going to become a YouTuber. And the two games I was trying to play were the Binding of Isaac and Minecraft, I think. Although I don't think I ever like published any Minecraft content. I did publish like I think I did publish like a bit, but not much. I also published some other indie games that I completely forget by now. And one time I tried to like stream or record like Slenderman with a friend when that was really popular. But yeah, it's the Binding of Isaac was still like my main thing. Like I distinctly remember a specific run I had with Eve, where I was just like playing with Eve and I got really famous, and then I died because I couldn't commentate and play at the same time. I still can't commentate and play at the same time. It's a skill that I just don't really have, unless I'm just literally playing a game on autopilot. That's when I can commentate and play at the same time. But there aren't like many games I can play on autopilot. The only thing I can is probably like Tetris, but even then it's not like good gameplay, I guess. So yeah, that's like I remember like playing some indie game and like recording over it, and I recorded so many videos that my throat just was like absolutely ripped to shreds by the end of the recording session. And I had to walk, and I distinctly remember feeling like so much pain in my throat, but I was so happy because I got to record videos. I don't think anyone really watched anything I put out. I think I had like one subscriber. I'm pretty sure I just had one subscriber. But it was really fun. It was really fun to have my first channel and just play The Binding of Isaac on it. Now, Northern Lion himself is someone I have also just been like watching on and off for my entire life. Like, I think I started watching Northern Lion when I was like around 11 or 12, and I never really stopped watching him. And I still watch like Northern Lion every couple of months. Sometimes I go on like a spree where I just watch his Binding of Isaac videos daily, and that's always comfy because he's just so consistent and he's always been there, and it seems like he will always like keep making his videos. So it's really comforting to be able to like go back to Northern Lion every time I want and just watch his videos. Now, I wouldn't know what to do if he died. Like, I don't usually care a lot about celebrities or anything, but if Northern Lion specifically, it's like he's like the one celebrity I would actually care about if like anything happened to him. And yeah, he has like a really special place for me. This time I have a few topics written down too. The first thing I want to talk about is the sacrifice mentality people have with coronavirus, right? Where instead of like doing anything reasonable or rational or thinking things through the way that they should be thought through, people just go like, the way to fight coronavirus is to make your life as bad as it can be, right? If you just sacrifice enough, the coronavirus will go away if you just sacrifice enough. What you have to really do is you have to like give up like things like this situation has happened to like a lot of people. Like, imagine this: you take a crowded bus, right? You walk through a crowd, right, to meet your like girlfriend or boyfriend, and then you go and sit 6 feet apart to help corona. Now, that doesn't do anything. Like, the way to have helped it is by not taking the public transport, by not going out in public. Like that's the way you would have like prevented the spread. So now, sitting close to your boyfriend or girlfriend will do absolutely nothing. Statistically nothing will happen, but it feels like, hey, if we just sacrifice enough, then the situation will go away. You can only sacrifice like special things. You can't sacrifice something that's like ordinary or mundane. You can't sacrifice a fucking annoying bus ride. You can't sacrifice like just having to go like on the street in public. Like, that's not something that people can sacrifice, because that's not something that people like. But people like having the ability to spend time close to someone. So if you just sacrifice that, then corona will end. or if you sacrifice like a trip to like a different city that you like you really want to take, if you sacrifice that, then corona will end. Not because like you care about transport, but because if you sacrifice a trip, that's the thing that matters. Because like statistically, the fucking dangerous thing is like people in the same place who all have a high chance of having corona, right? Which is probably going to be a bus ride or a train ride. It's not gonna be like just being around like nothing in another city. But since you wanted to go to another city, that's something you can sacrifice, right? So it's all just so fucking dumb to me. It's all so fucking dumb. Like, personal sacrifices will not do anything to corona. It's like the same mentality that, hey, like some things are too important to sacrifice, right? You can't apply like the sacrifice mentality to like going to an important protest, because that's something that has to be done like when there's something like that's important. But coronavirus doesn't care about what's important or not. Coronavirus doesn't care if you're wearing a mask or not. It's a fucking force of nature, right? It doesn't care about intentions. But for some reason, like, you're gonna sit 6 feet apart from your fucking boyfriend, and you're gonna go to a protest and be like, hey, I'm preventing the spread of coronavirus. That's not true. You can say protests are more important than preventing the spread of coronavirus, and that's like an argument you can make. But it blows my mind how many people pretend that there's like no correlation between like massive protests and coronavirus, because like there so obviously is. You can even see it in the data. If you look at the data, it's not some Karen going to like a Walmart without the mask. That's not the thing prolonging coronavirus. It's the massive gatherings of every type, whether it be like parties or protests or public transport. Any of those things are like way more responsible for coronavirus than fucking like hugging your friend or something. Like, again, it's just a mentality where you have to sacrifice like a virgin to make the sun rise up. You know, this is fucking dumb. It's just fucking dumb. Like, I think people should be like more rational about these kinds of things. Another thing I don't get is like people just being completely obsessed with taking pictures and pictures of everything, because like obviously pictures are useful. Like, I've had multiple occasions in my life where I was like, hey, I wish I had like pictures of like this specific event, just because I want to like share it with people. But like never once have I been like, I just wish I had like pictures of this time period so I would like remember it or something. I don't get that. I really don't get that. I don't get why people think like that, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, the thing is, no one even looks at pictures usually. Like, people only share pictures. I've never seen someone be like, hey, I'm just gonna independently just look at some pictures of something. I've never once seen that happen to anyone. But it's like, people still just keep taking pictures even when they don't intend to share them, and I don't get that at all. Like, I've never once felt the compulsion to just stare at things I've experienced because I've already experienced them. Why would I want to stare at them in the past? If I also have like aphantasia, so I should be like the number one person who's like obsessed with pictures, because like I can't imagine like a picture shit in my head. But like, it doesn't fucking matter, you know. It just fucking happened. Like, why do you want to look at it? Maybe it's because I have aphantasia. They don't want to, because maybe people, when they see pictures, they get like, imagine being at a specific place at a specific time, and they go like, wow, this is enjoyable again. Maybe that's why, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I would like to take a moment to talk about how bad tourism is. I'm not really trying to say that traveling is bad, because I don't think traveling is bad at all. However, I think that tourism in itself is like the most meaningless and pointless thing anyone could do. Because imagine this, you find yourself in a strange country, completely unplanned, right? What do you want to do? Do you want to like go look around, see all the cool things that you might find? Or do you want someone to tell you to like look at the same things like everyone is looking at, and just completely just like follow the same landmarks? They're like supposed to be like the best things to look at. Like, obviously you would want to just like look at the things you want to look at. But when it comes to like traveling, when you have like to plan it, when you have to like budget it, when you have to organize everything yourself in advance, it becomes really tempting to be like, hey, I want like a tourist package, right? I want to see all the cool sites, and I don't want to think about it, because you have to plan ahead, you have to think about things, right? But the wonderful part about just traveling without planning ahead is that you don't have to think about anything. Like, you get to just go to wherever you want to go, and you get to just like look at whatever you want to look at, and the only thing you have to really plan for is how you're gonna end up in like the country you want to end up in, and like where are you going to stay. And once you have those two things figured out, then there's like no real difficulty. Like if you know, like, hey, I'm gonna like drive somewhere and stay in my car, or hey, I'm gonna fly somewhere and stay in a hotel, or hey, I'm gonna take a bus and stay at a friend's house, right? If you know any of these options, then you don't need to worry about anything else, because if you just have like a working brain and a computer or a phone, you can just figure out where to go. It's not really that hard. But yeah, now that that's out of the way, because I think I'm gonna talk about some other things for a while, because this clip is recorded after the first one, so this is a different anime. And yesterday I found a guy on YouTube called 99, and I'm recording this over like multiple days just so I don't get like burnt out or tired, because there's no need to do that. Anyway, there's this guy on YouTube called 99. Now he can't really be found because there's a bunch of things called 99, so I'm gonna link him in the description, because he's genuinely my favorite YouTube channel now. So what does 99 do? Why is he so great? Why is he just the best YouTube channel? Well, he does a lot of things. So he's like this artist guy, right? He can draw, he can animate. It's pretty impressive. So what does he draw? What does he animate? He just does like Bakugan memes and like some Volt Shadow Mylene memes, although I don't even know what that is. It seems like some like Yu-Gi-Oh type thing. I'm not really sure though. It's something, but I don't really even care, because it's just like it's just so like I think I don't even know. Anyway, he might just do like exclusively Bakugan content, and he just has like one Invader Gym video. I don't know the references is the thing, but I don't need to know the references, because like all I care about is that this person is like really passionate about everything they're doing. Like this person is just really passionate, and is using their like artistic skills just to make something they're really passionate about, and it's so fantastic, because this is the type of thing you would have seen like on the internet back in like 2007, 2008, right? Where someone just they made like an AMV, the Smile DK's Butterfly, and the Bakugan Caramel Dance, and in 2 days, right? This is the most impressive posting I've ever seen. This is genuinely like the best channel on YouTube now. This means that Toadsmite is no longer the best channel on YouTube. Toadsmite is now the second best channel on YouTube, because 99 is just the best channel in every way. Like I couldn't even like compare to how great this channel is. Like, if you're listening to this, you should go watch this channel instead of listening to this anymore, because this is just so great. This is just so great. I just love this channel so much. Also Caramel Dance and Smile DK's Butterfly and the Hentai Girl song and Nightcore Every Time I Touch. They're the only actual real songs. Like every other song doesn't matter. The only songs that matter are those 4 songs. Every other song doesn't matter, unless you're like Vocaloid songs. Vocaloid songs also matter, but like no other song that's sung by a human matters. But yeah, I would really like to be able to contact 99 somehow, because this person is genuinely like, I admire this person to a ridiculous extent, and I wish I could like try to talk to this person and see what they're about, but like I don't know if they would be interested in talking to me, but I'm a really huge fan of their work. Okay, I want to talk about Minecraft now, because I've been having thoughts about Minecraft today, because I've been playing Minecraft again. So there's my first thought is that netherite armor needs a fix, because currently it's basically useless. The only thing it does is give you more knockback resistance. So why is that useless? You get to resist knockback? Well, because it doesn't really factor in that any part of like a normal gameplay. But you know what does factor in? The fact that you can get instantly killed by a creeper from full health even if you have like max gear, right? You have max gear and you can get instantly killed by a creeper. How does that make sense? Like Prot 4 and everything, a full set of netherite, and if a creeper blows up next to you, you're dead. That shouldn't happen, so I think netherite armor should have like some degree of blast protection. Like it doesn't have to be a lot of blast protection, just enough that you can't get like randomly killed if you're playing with like the sound off or whatever. Because like I think that would just make sense. And I think, and it's like thematically relevant too, because netherite is explosion proof, right? So netherite is explosion proof, you put it into an armor and then it just loses the ability to be explosion proof. How does that make sense? How does that make any sense? And then there's also like the thing where it kinda should be like a bit fire resistant too, you know? Like it should have like some degree of fire protection, because it just makes thematic sense, but it's not like necessary in the same way. But yeah, in general, it's overall like there should be an ability like or maybe just have like maybe you can put like fire protection, blast protection, and normal protection, or normal protection, or either fire protection or blast protection, like a piece of armor if it's netherite. Because it's like you never want to just have blast protection, right? You always want to have a full set of protection for, because it basically makes you invulnerable, and it's really cute to have like a full set of protection for. So you never want to have blast protection, right? But if you just have protection for, a creeper can still easily kill you, and you don't need anywhere near blast protection 4 to make you like secure from a creeper. You only need like a few levels of blast protection, so it just doesn't really make any sense not to have like some degree of blast protection, the netherite armor, to make it into like somewhat of a useful item, because I really think it should be a useful item. I really think that netherite should be useful instead of being like the way it is now, which isn't very useful at all. And then the other idea I had is I really think there should be a mod that like makes bedrock that spawns naturally breakable, right? I don't like, maybe it makes the end bedrock breakable too. I wouldn't have anything against that, but like I just think it would be like really cool to have like bedrock be breakable, and not just for no reason, right? Because in the nether you get to go above the bedrock and you get to like see all the cool stuff, right? You get to use the nether roof for your projects and just look around and use it for transport or whatever. That's pretty useful. That's pretty useful for like a lot of things. But then there's like also the fact that it would be really cool if you could like late game like break the bedrock underneath like the normal ground and then like explore like a deeper cave system, right? You could have like a bunch of emeralds and diamonds when they're not like useful anymore, you know? You could just have like a bunch of like emeralds everywhere because you can get them way easier by just trading. And you could just have like a bunch of diamonds because it don't really matter in like the relatively late game. So it's like you could easily just have like all of those things, and it would be really cool to have all of those things. Then you could maybe have like some other items, and like, okay, here's an idea, because netherite as it is right now isn't really useful, right? So what you could have, for example, is like maybe ruby items, right? Rubies, yeah, new resource rubies, right? Or blood diamonds or whatever. That wouldn't be a good idea because of the connotations. Fire diamonds. Doesn't matter, some type of like alternate diamonds that are just red because red looks cool, right? And you can make them into armor, you can make them into tools, and they would function the same way as like diamond tools, like exactly the same way, except they might be like have like a little bit of like less durability or something. Except then if you put like netherite on them, you get like alternate netherite tools, like let's say you get like a fire netherite tool, and what they would do is they would like apply efficiency to like blocks that aren't like the intended block, right? So for example, you could have like a pickaxe that has like efficiency 5, and you use it on a tree, and then it might treat the tree as if you had like a stone axe that has efficiency 5, for example, or something like that. Maybe an iron axe that has efficiency 5. Just like it would just be like decent enough. It would just like it would be basically like a multi-tool in Minecraft without having to like actually have a multi-tool. Or you could create like something like a wire cutter that allows you to like diffuse the entire creepers. Like, that would be cool with rubies or whatever. Just like fill in niches that aren't really filled in the main game, the kind that you need to be filled in. Like, maybe you could have like something that's like, I don't know, I mean that's like beyond the scope of the mod, but like, or maybe actually there could be like, let's say there could be like sapphires too, like let's say there are sapphires, and when you put, like, they're also like diamonds, except maybe they're a bit slower, right? However, if you put like netherite on them, right, you could create like this set of armor that's like useful underwater, right? So let's say that like aqua netherite boots, let's say for example, are just like slightly better underwater because you can like, I don't know, you get to swim a bit faster even when you're not like swimming. Like maybe you just move faster when you aren't like full on swimming and you're just like walking underwater, let's say, just to save like the tiny bit of time and make it like a tiny bit more useful, you know. And maybe you could have like the sapphire helmet, and it just removes the water fog effect completely. So you have the sapphire helmet and you don't have any water fog anymore. That would be useful. That would be like genuinely really useful, and it would be like a different way to like be in the water, right? Or let's say there could be like a what would be like the chest plate. Let's say the chest plate. I don't know what the chest plate would do, because there aren't really that many more things you could do. Maybe the chest plate helps with respiration some more. Maybe the chest plate just goes, okay, I'm gonna extend the amount of time you can breathe underwater, because it would be like a scuba tank type thing, you know. Maybe. What could the leggings do? The leggings maybe make it take less damage underwater. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Maybe the chest plate makes it take less damage, and the leggings make you like have more respiration or whatever. And the tools would just have like work better underwater. Like maybe they work like as well underwater as normal tools work when you're not underwater. Like that would be cool. That's an unfilled niche that would be like really useful. Or maybe you could have like a netherite armor set, right? That you need to use like netherite things that aren't like diamond enchanted or diamond enhanced netherite sets, but you just use netherite ingots to make an armor set, right? Which would take like a bunch of resources and like a lot of time. But like when you have done that, yeah, like, or like a tool set too, like, and that could be like a different thing. It doesn't have to be like plain netherite. Maybe you use like, I don't know, some new resource to make them. Maybe use like silver or whatever instead of gold to make like alternate netherite ingots. They're like white netherite or something. And then you can like make like a netherite set out of those things, right? You get to make like a netherite set out of those things. And that could do like a lot of different things too. Like, I don't know what it could do, but like the possibilities are endless. You could really do like whatever. It's just a matter of like opening up new possibilities, because I think netherite is a really cool idea right now. It's just kind of useless, and I wish it was more useful. I wish there were more things you could do with netherite. So if it's just being kind of like a thing that's like an afterthought, and it just takes too much time. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, it's mostly like a cosmetic thing anyway, I guess. So it's not like that relevant, but I wish it was. I wish netherite was like actually team meta, instead of just being like something dumb that you shouldn't really care about. Also, it would be cool to have like netherite elytra that just fit in better with the armor set, and like maybe have more durability. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, anyway, I also want to talk about the Gamer Girl ASMR and what my experience with this podcast has been. And why I'm not like sad that I did it, I guess, because I'm really happy I did Gamer Girl ASMR. It's not something I regret at all in any way. It's just something that like kinda can't really do anymore, and it kind of wore its time out, I guess. So let's go through every Gamer Girl ASMR episode and talk about my experience with it. So Gamer Girl ASMR 1 was just something I had like an inspiration to do one day, and then I decided, hey, I'm just gonna make this podcast over this like thing, and it worked out pretty perfectly. Like, I got a lot of views, I got a lot of attention, and it was like, okay, now this is cool, like this idea seems to work. And I was like pretty sure I had something to say every week, so I was like, hey, let's just make it weekly. episodes 2 and 3 and 4 also had great receptions. A lot of people watched them. I got like a lot of great feedback on them. So it's like, wow, this series is really popping off, right? I'm really gonna go for it. I'm really gonna make Gamer Girl ASMR into like this giant flagship thing for my channel. Like, this is gonna be my new thing. And I mean, I was kind of using it as a crutch when I wasn't like really in the mood to make anything else. So basically everything I was like actively making was mostly just like Gamer Girl ASMR with some other things on the side. But like I didn't have like any huge videos in the same way that I did before until Toad's Might Analysis. That was right after Gamer Girl ASMR episode 5. So I made Gamer Girl ASMR episode 5 and I was like, hey, I'm gonna retitle all the episodes because Gamer Girl ASMR episode 4 took a while to take off and only took off when I retitled it. Did not have numbers in the name, and I was at that point I was like being like kinda negative on having numbers in the names of things. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have numbers in the names of Gamer Girl ASMRs. And when I put out Gamer Girl ASMR episode 5 without a number in the name, and no one basically watched it at all, and it was kinda strange. It was kinda strange. It didn't do well at all. It didn't do well at all. So I was like, okay, now this is strange. But like, episode 5 also was like the point where I kinda ran out of things to say, because I recorded episodes 2 and 3 basically like right after making episode 1, but I still had like the initial bout of inspiration. And then I made episode 4 just like when episode 2 was out and before episode 3 was out, I think. So I just like did like the same thing I did basically before, where I just talked about things. But in episode 5 I had kinda ran out of things to say, so I just went this like long tangent, like driven like kinda tirade, I guess, about like everything under the sun. And I was just talking about like a lot of things in once, and I had like a 45-minute like straight take that I don't usually do. So that was like a unique experience for me. And then I put it out. It had like a different name, no one cared about it. And so like a bit ago I also put out Gamer Girl ASMR episode 6, and this time I had the number in the name, and it's not really doing well either. So it's like the series kinda has to be over because I ran out of things to say by Gamer Girl ASMR episode 4. That's when I ran out of things to say in the Gamer Girl ASMR. So there's like really no option other than to end the series because it's not doing well and I can't really maintain it. And then there's also the thing where I firmly hold the belief that if you have like one bad episode of a series, then the entire series is kind of worthless. Now, this might be like an overly like pessimistic view, but for me, like the most important thing of a series is that every episode is enjoyable. And with Gamer Girl ASMR, it's really not the case. And now this finale is just here for continuity and finality, so I don't want to just end up a series on like a sour note where it just ends on bad episodes. So I'm really trying to make the finale better by just like recording it in chunks and only recording when I have something to say, and just trying to make it like a nice listening experience in general, I guess, and not trying too hard to make it into like this branded thing, I guess. So yeah, so that's how Gamer Girl ASMR for me is, and this is just like the last hooray on it. And it might have been doomed from the start, and it might have never been like a great idea, but I had fun making it, and other people seemed to enjoy it when it was like really enjoyed, I guess. And I didn't really mind that it has to come to an end. I didn't really mind at all, because it's not something I had to care about that much. It's yeah, that's just it. That's been my experience with Gamer Girl ASMR. I have to say that it was like the most effective crutch when it comes to like working through a time period where I didn't really have any drive to make like really in-depth content. I didn't really want to make like a lot of content that was like really like involved, and I had to do a lot for. So in that time it was really nice to be able to just make the ASMR videos, I guess, and just talk in a soft voice, and just hopefully just like do the things I wanted to do. But yeah, it's just it's over now. it's not gonna come back anymore, and I'm just gonna kill it before it gets bad. I'm just gonna kill it before it gets even worse than it is, I guess. because I don't want to drag something out when it's bad. And I know that this episode is also kind of bad because I also kind of have run out of things to say, but I'm just repeating myself again. But it's just, I mean, I'm like, I know I shouldn't take YouTube dislikes seriously. I shouldn't be like, oh hey, this video has dislikes, that means it's a bad video, right? Like I know I shouldn't be like that. And I know that dislikes for Gamer Girl ASMR episode 6 is probably because someone was looking for actual ASMR videos, right? So they just came and just gave it a dislike because it wasn't like an actual ASMR video. But given that, like, I'm kind of sensitive to getting dislikes, I guess. So it's like, that wasn't really like a great experience. Like, I try not to be like obsessed with YouTube metrics or anything, but like, when I see like that the reception for something hasn't been great, I know that this is a problem I have to work on, that I shouldn't really care about reception, because I should care about like actual like quantifiable things that people think, not like, oh, whether they click the button or not. And it's just, I know I shouldn't look at it that way, but it's, I mean, the metrics that YouTube gives me, which might be faulty, might not be faulty, I know they're fascist either way, but like the metrics that YouTube gives me about Gamer Girl ASMR isn't, I don't know if I keep rambling, I kind of like wrapped myself up in like this idea that this was going to be like my main thing, and this was going to be like the big thing. Like it's just like I had like a negative thought pattern, and that ended up in me making bad content. And I guess I kind of regret it because I kind of want to make good content. You know, I kind of want to make good content, and I know that the content was perfectly serviceable for whoever wanted to watch it. I know that the content wasn't bad, like in any objective sense. Like, it was just different, and it was honest about what it was. So I shouldn't like think it's bad, because both like episodes 5 and 6 basically start with me being like, hey, this isn't really like the thing I'm trying to do. But like, I guess really when it started going downhill was episode 6, not episode 6, episode 4, when I kind of just ran out of things to say like up front, and it ended up devolving into like, I mean, I didn't really run out of things to say. It was just kind of like me listing topics I had thought of and realizing that I didn't really have that much to say about any of them. So in a way, I think Gamer Girl ASMR episode 5 might have been better, but like, I don't know why it just evolved into this. Like, one day I have to go back to like the first episodes when I'm more comfortable with them, and I don't remember them at all, so I can just listen to them and like be entertained by them. So like in like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, I should go back to like the early episodes of Gamer Girl ASMR and be like, okay, what made this series so special when it was good, and what made it bad when it stopped being good? Or maybe it's not even bad, maybe just mediocre, which is even worse than bad. I hope it's at least bad. Like, why did something devolve into like me having an existential breakdown? It's probably the fact it got more structured, which ended up with my autistic brain just going like, okay, this structure now. But like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to like talk about this subject actually. Like, I just thought that like I was just gonna mention this, right, because I didn't think I had like a complex about it. I thought I was gonna be like, hey, yeah, it was cool to make Gamer Girl ASMR, but like I'm kind of sad that it like kind of devolved. But then it turned out I had like way more feelings about it, and I'm currently just like live on there trying to like get through these feelings, figure it out, like figure out why I have such a complex about it. I mean, I think the complex might be because it's something I decided to do weekly, and then I kind of failed at, because like doing it weekly meant that I was like also doing it poorly, and I really shouldn't have an upload schedule. I should just upload whatever, whenever, because that's just better for me. But like, then there's also the thing that like Classics Cast being monthly has made me watch a lot more anime, and I really like it. So I think the thing is I should make schedules for myself and not for my content, because it really helps to have a schedule for me as a person, but it doesn't help to have a schedule for like my content as like content, because like my schedule shouldn't be around like specific like deadlines for like some content that doesn't even require really deadlines. Like that's how I do like my live shows, right? Because I just do them whenever I I don't put a deadline on my live shows. I do, but like, I decide when I'm gonna release them like a few days ahead of time or like a day ahead of time. And then I just go into like a live show. Actually, I think I want to do a live show this time, this Friday, this Saturday, something. Yeah, I think I want to do a live show this Saturday. I think that might be fun. So actually, right now I'm gonna go and put like a live stream notice up for this Saturday because I think that would be fun. I think that would be fun. I mean, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen, but I think I'm just gonna go for it and see how it goes because I kind of want to make a new live show. So yeah, that's this section. So basically, the Gamer Girl ASMR was fun, but I can't schedule my stuff. I can't like. I can't hold myself to like a really rigid schedule unless like I hold myself to a schedule like I can't hold my content to a rigid schedule. I have to let my content like be out when it wants to be out. Yeah, that's just it. I just need to be enthusiastic about what I'm making, I guess. And with Gamer Girl ASMR, the thing that made it bad is I stopped being enthusiastic about like a specific episode because I was too concerned with like the total continuity of it instead of like the specific episodes. Like I wasn't thinking about like how can I make this episode the best it can be. I was thinking about like how can I make Gamer Girl ASMR the best it can be, and that's like the wrong way to think about it for me. Like I know I have to think about it like in a completely different way, and I have to be like more concerned with like specific episodes over like great continuities, because with this episode in particular I'm like more concerned with just like saying something and just like making it like again here I am more concerned for continuity because this is like the end point, right? Because this is the end point. I want it to like fit into the continuity and be like, hey, I'm gonna give this series like a proper send off and a proper finale, right? I'm not gonna leave it off on like an improper finish. I just want it to like end up in like a decent way, and I want people to be like, hey, like I know this Gamer Girl ASMR thing might have not like really worked out, but like at least you cared enough to give us like a 2-hour finale. I know that's again like not really the most healthy way to think about it, but like I guess I feel like I would be like more confident in it if I like finished it in like a way that I was like personally happy with, instead of like in a way that like I'm not personally happy with, I guess, like because I do want the continuity to my channel, because I don't want to have like I don't want to just do like experiments all the time. I want a healthy balance of experiments and continuity, right? I want a healthy balance of like doing things spontaneously and having like a thing that people can follow, because I see my own channel as like just a continuous art piece, right? I don't really see I guess the thing is I don't see like any individual video as like a continuous art piece. I see every single video as like a step in like the grand art piece that I'm trying to make, because even from the start of my channel I was just making like spontaneous podcasts with people. It's like just things to do because I was having fun with those, right? And then I was making things that I also had fun with, and I guess that's the thing. I think I just like started having more fun with like designing a channel instead of making specific videos, because like making specific videos is still fun. Like Toads Might Analysis was super fun. The Giga-Vlog series all of those Giga-Vlogs were super fun, right? Like making music is the most fun thing ever. I fucking love making music. I really liked making the first 4 episodes of Gamer Girl ASMR. I'm really enjoying making this episode because I'm just going on like a ramble right now, and I like going on a ramble. I like going on a nice big ramble where I don't really say anything. Like, so I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this, and I think the ultimate thing was like I enjoyed the fact that I made Gamer Girl ASMR's episode 5 and 6, but I didn't enjoy making them at all. I think there's like some degree by which you have to enjoy making them, but like I think that might have also been true for episode 4, because there's some reason people didn't click on episode 5. It might have just been like circumstantial. It doesn't have to have any meaning that, like a grand scheme. It might have just been like a matter of like some really vague circumstances that happened, but like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter at all. All I know is that it's just not worth doing anymore for like a plethora of reasons, and having 7 episodes, a mini-series, like, that's like 7 hours of content basically, or 8 hours actually. So yeah, there's an 8-hour series of the Gamer Girl ASMR, and I think it's like wrapped up neatly. I guess it's like, at least in my head there's like a bow on the series when there's like a proper finale, instead of just ending it up and like it fizzling out, right? Because I think that's it. Because if it just fizzled out, I think it would just be like unfair to it, and it would be like unfair to the experiences I had with it, right? Like I wouldn't feel like I gave like the series like a fair treatment if I just ended it on like nothing. Because I think it's like a good series. I think it's valuable. I enjoyed making it a lot, but there came like a point where I enjoyed the continuity and analytics more than actually making single episodes, and that was the problem. So yeah, in the future I'm just gonna not plan out weekly shows, because originally I thought I could make Gamer Girl ASMR twice a week, because I thought I had an hour of things to say like every 3 days. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it twice a week, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna make it once a week. I can keep up with that, and then I could keep up with that. I have an hour of things to say every week. But it's not always that I want to say those hour of things. It's not always that those are things that I want to say, or I feel like I have a need to say, because like, for example, this week I haven't really done anything. Like last week I also really didn't do anything. And the week before that, like, I also kind of didn't do that. No, actually the week before that I did like maybe too much even, or whatever. I don't even fucking remember anymore. I don't even really know the timeline of when I did what, but like, it's just yeah, it's just like I have to like figure out like a better way, because like this channel is ultimately just something I do for fun, right? Ultimately this channel is something I do because I'm having fun with it. I like getting attention. I like when people enjoy things. I like making people happy, right? I don't think it's bad to like all of those things. I don't think it's bad at all to like all of those things. It's like I'm like narcissistically looking to gain like power. I'm just looking to make people happy, because I'm really happy when I make people happy, and I'm also looking for attention, because I kind of just like, I just have like a thing where I just want people to like pay attention to me, right? I don't think any of those are bad. They might be like a bit shallow, I guess. Like, but like if I was just making things I didn't want attention for, then I wouldn't be showing them to anyone, right? So it's also like I mean, like, ultimately people just make things to get attention on like some level, right? Because everything that isn't made for attention never gets seen by anyone, and most people want attention to some extent, so they show things to people. So this channel is I kinda want attention. I kinda want to meet people. That's also a thing that I really like about the channel, is it kinda lets me meet people. Like, not constantly, but if I never made the channel, I would have never met like some people that are like really, really valuable to me. Like, and so it's like it's a really good thing that I have the channel. It's a really good thing that I have this hobby, right? Because it lets me do all of these things I really want to do. And I also enjoy making videos. I enjoy all of the things I make. I'm not complaining because I don't enjoy these things, but like, ultimately it's just a hobby. Ultimately it's just something I want to do for fun. And if it stops being like a hobby, and if I don't get paid for it, then there's no reason to do it. Because I mean, if someone was like, hey, I'm gonna pay like $15 a month, or not a month, $15 a week to make a Gamer Girl ASMR every week, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, even though I don't care about it. But then at that point it wouldn't really be fun for people, probably. Maybe someone just wants to pay me that money to just talk in a soft voice for an hour, which I can do. But there's a difference between just talking and putting on a show, right? And with Gamer Girl ASMR, I do want to put in a show. and I want to I want to make it something that people can enjoy and something people can really vibe with, I guess. So yeah, that's I guess the mission statement for my channel. I'm just gonna make things if I think I can put on a show and if I can enjoy it, and yeah. This is just because I think I can enjoy making this finale, and I think I can put on a show, and I think it will resolve all of these feelings. But yeah, I'm sorry for going on like a 20-minute tangent about my feelings about this show in general. But I hope you at least found some value in it, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna talk when I think I can put on a show again, because I think I can't really talk about anything anymore on this specific show. So yeah, I'll be back instantly for you guys, but I'll be back later for myself. Why do so many freebie producers on YouTube have the exact same description? Because they just go hey, this is a little peep type beat, this is an XXX extentation type beat, this is a this type beat and that type beat, and then it's a list of 50 type beats, and then you scroll through the list of 50 type beats, then you get to the bottom and there's this text absolutely every time you use my beat you have to credit me, and then it's the exact way you have to credit them, it's brought by and this capitalization and everything, so many people have this exact same promo fucking thing in their thing. It's okay, buy this beat at my special website, right? This is my business email if you want exclusive releases, right? And this is the terms and conditions of using the beat. These guys are just making free beats that get 50 views, right? Max, 50 views max. And they're just putting all these terms and conditions on their beat, I get why I would put every type beat it is, but you can just put it in the tags, I think. I don't know how YouTube works actually, but I think you could just put that in the tags, because there's no real reason to just have all of that shit. You could be you could delete it in 3 lines if you don't want to be a completely copyright free person. You could be hey, this is credit me this beat is free. That's it. Or hey, credit me this beat is free unless you use it for commercial purposes, or whatever, because in most cases it's not the people looking at their beats are some tier superstar rappers, even though I'm completely sure all the big rappers are just scrolling through YouTube to see new beats or SoundCloud or whatever. I'm completely sure that most big rappers are just trying to see what all the new hotness is, just so they're understand what's the current style and what people are looking for. But then it's they don't all have to be the same. At least put something new in it, at least make some new unique spin. Some of them have emojis, right? That just makes it look worse. It doesn't make you sound better when you have emojis in your title. So maybe I will contact you for business inquiries if you have emojis in your description. Because if you want to make yourself I think the part that bothers me is that if you have to sound this professional, that's just an indication that you aren't really a professional person, right? It's just it's basically the same thing as saying hey, I'm a really amateurish person, which is why I need all this text to get people to care about something, because all the people who have the actually the big videos or actual producers who make free beats, they have nice clean descriptions. They go hey, these are my links, and this is the beat, and that's it. They don't do anything more. They just all the people who actually have an audience and who people care about don't really do this type of thing because they don't need to. So if you're so desperate for your beat getting recognized, right, it just makes you seem you're desperate, right? It's I know it just frustrates me because I don't want to read through an entire terms and conditions for how I'm exactly supposed to use your beat if I just want to do a freestyle, right? I mean, I get if I was just grabbing random beats from YouTube for an album project, that might be necessary. But at that point, I would just contact this person through whatever links they have instead of just stealing the beat if I wasn't just putting together either a mixtape or a freestyle, right? it's like this exact combination of like self-importance while they don't actually they aren't actually doing anything important, I guess. I mean, there's like a chance that the page just blows completely up and gets like 20,000 views, and then someone might steal it if you don't have like the terms and conditions or whatever. But it's like, I don't fucking know. It just annoys me. It just kind of annoys me, I guess. I know that was the rant. I'm gonna go back to like just making raps instead of just ranting into this podcast randomly. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this intersection, because it just came to mind, and I was like, I might as well just record my thoughts on this thing, because I had to put it out somewhere and I didn't know where else to put it. Anyway, this has just kind of become like a dumping ground for ideas, which is like the right thing for this specific podcast, which I'm happy about. I've recently become kind of obsessed with 21 Savage. I've listened to all of his like real projects, and I really like his sound. Like, I know people go like, oh, it's like boring and monotonous, but like, that's the point. Like, his music is supposed to like not experience, but like express feelings of being like completely numb. Like, 21's music isn't supposed to be like, hey, I'm angry or I'm sad. No, 21's music is supposed to like convey the fact that it's completely numb. Like, how like songs like No Heart or whatever, it's just like, it's pretty obvious what like the theme is. And yet people go like, well, I don't like this theme. I like when people are sad. I like when people are happy. I like when people are angry. You just can't appreciate the emotion of just being completely numb. I don't think I can really appreciate 21 Savage unless you're like, either you're not just paying attention, you're just being like, oh, he flow nice. And 21 Savage does flow nice. That's a completely acceptable reason to like 21 Savage. But like on like a critical level, like if you don't understand what it's like to be depressed or have trauma, right, you're not gonna enjoy 21 Savage, because it's, I know like these people really like, I like sad songs, or like I like when the song is sad. I like when the song makes me feel sad, because they're like the most surface level like people ever. So they go like, well, like I like when the song makes me feel sad, when that's not the point of like when you're like actually dealing with like real fucking emotions. Because when you're dealing with real fucking emotions, you don't feel sad, you don't feel anything. It's just like everything shuts off, and the only thing you can do is you can fucking just turn to either like substances or like some other cope. Like you can become like a sex addict, or like just drink lean all day or whatever. Like that's the entire point of 21 Savage, is that he's like it's all of his music is about trauma, right? All of 21's music is about like how the kind of life that like a lot of people lead will eventually leave them traumatized. Like, but like these fucking white colonizer critics can't appreciate it, because they go like, oh, I like when things make me feel sad. I like when things make me feel sad. And yeah, I also like when things make me feel sad. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't like when things make me feel sad, but like I can appreciate the fact that like 21 Savage just like gives me like an experience that like other artists don't give me. It's like, oh, he's just like a mumble rapper. He doesn't sound any different. Like, when he has like one of the most unique flows and voices in the entirety of like rap ever. Like, no one else sounds like 21 Savage. No one else even comes close to sounding like 21 Savage. Like, didn't be these people go like, no, the only thing that makes me unique is he goes like 21, 21, 21, 21, which he does go, and it's funny that it goes like, but like it's like, I don't know how anyone just looks at 21 Savage and goes like, wow, this is a bad rapper. This rapper is kind of whack, right? Because it's like, I can't even imagine how someone could come to that conclusion. They just aren't listening. They're just white and they aren't listening, and hate whenever someone has a southern accent. Yeah, that's probably just it. So it's the last few hours when I have a chance to record this, so I have to get recording it right now in my time zone. It's Tuesday at 3 a.m. and in my imaginary like deadline world, I want this video to be out by 7 a.m. and I think it's Eastern Standard Time, and so I'm recording it right now, and I should be able to like scrape by and get it up like basically the last chance it could get up, or at least near it. It doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to talk about something cool I found today. So a bit ago I talked about this YouTube channel called 99. Now today I found a second really cool thing, which is a Bandcamp artist I found from 4chan who's called Cloud Violent, and I'm also gonna link him in the description because he's like some of the best music I've ever listened to, and I just discovered him today. It's like if DJ was like actually good at making music. That's like the type of music that this person makes. It's really chilled out, like neat type rap, and it's really nice. I really like listening to it. And another thing that's happened to me is I'm playing Cookie Clicker again because I spent the last 2 days just watching the entirety of Lucky Star. And starting from tomorrow, I just have to like start marathon and get a Mari sketch, just to have classics cast out by like a time that I wanted to be out on. So Classics Cast is going to come out this month as it should, and I just have to marathon it on my sketch. It's not gonna be a big deal. I get to just like play Cookie Clicker on the side. Because for me, Cookie Clicker is one of the most powerful concentration tools, because it's like this constant ongoing like process in the background. So I get to be doing something that like I want to get around to, such as like watching an anime or whatever. And in the background I can just have my Cookie Clicker, and it's perfect. It's really perfect. Now, one thing that isn't like quite perfect is that my Cookie Clicker save file did not transfer over from my previous computer, but it's completely fine actually, because it just allows me to start my save from the actual beginning of the game, which is some of the most interesting gameplay. Now, the thing is, I did decide to cheat. Like I didn't give myself like any cookies or whatever. But I decided to just give myself these sugar lumps that I could have gotten if this save had just been like AFK since the sugar lump update came out, because I've been playing for way longer than that, and just to be able to have like the sugar lumps I should have gotten if I had like a save from that period is just a good thing. Because this is a save I realistically could have. It's not like a save that file that I could not have. It's just the only difference is I have the sugar lumps and I don't have to like wait for them, because I inevitably just end up deleting files. And I think this is just the best way for me to start like a new Cookie Clicker save. I just give myself the sugar lumps from the date that they were introduced, and just like go from there, because that's like the right amount of sugar lumps for me. But that's just how I prefer to play the game. That's just because I don't really like waiting for sugar lumps, and I don't really want to do it again. But yeah, that's just how I choose to play the game. Yeah, I'm currently stricken by the realization that I have to come up with more things to say, because I kinda don't have that much to say. I've just been marathoning K-On! And Lucky Star for basically, that's like all I've done. It's kind of fun. It's been kind of fun. I'm not gonna say that I don't like it, because both of these are really good animes, and today I just finished up Lucky Star, and then I get to move on to the Mari sketch, and after that my anime marathoning won't stop, because I wanna get next month's Classics Cast done early. I'm not gonna post it early, but I'm gonna get it done early. And for that I'm gonna have to watch Fate Zero first, then Steins Gate. Those are easy. But then after I have watched those, I'm gonna watch like the entire Index series, which is going to actually take a while. But yeah, like it's kind of really ambitious now, this project, now thinking of it, because like watching anime isn't easy for me. So it's like we're only watching like 30 hours of anime a month or something like close to that. But it's like these 30 hours of anime in a month are like really hard for me to do, because it takes like a lot of effort for me to watch anime. Like it's an hour of anime a day, which is pretty exhausting. But yeah, it's cool because you get to see a lot of anime, because I've always wanted to have like seen a lot of anime and be familiar with all of the classic anime. Oh, here's some fun activity. I could go over all of the anime that I am planning to watch, but I haven't quite gotten around to it. So let me quickly open up my file where I have my future anime plans, and let's go over all of them that I plan to watch soon, because all of them have like all of them have like a thing, right? So I only have like the next 2 months planned. So like I only need the next 2 months, but it's pretty big. So yeah, next month is going to be Steins Gate, Fate Zero. Oh, actually, I'm not watching the Index series. That's right, to change it. I'm just gonna be watching Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere. See, I'm not watching the Index series. Originally, I planned to watch the Index series next month, but then I changed the plan, and now I'm gonna watch Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere. Then, the month after that, I'm gonna watch Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, and FLCL. So that's the next 2 months that I have planned. Then, after that's done, I'm gonna watch all of the US anime. Okay, I guess I have 3 months planned because I wanna watch Ping Pong, The Dummy Galaxy, and then Japan Sinking and Kemon no Sume maybe. I'm not quite sure what I'm watching, but I know that I'm watching Ping Pong, The Dummy Galaxy, and Japan Sinking. Those are completely fixed in. So Japan Sinking just came out, that's not a classic, but classics guys is just whatever I want it to be. And if I want to watch a bunch of US anime, I'm gonna watch a bunch of US anime. Then I also eventually have a plan to watch Index, which is going to be its own month where I'm just gonna watch Index. But then after that, it's not after that, it's like the origin isn't settled yet. I wanna also watch all of the Maishi shit. I wanna watch Dead Leaves, I wanna watch Gurren Lagann, I wanna rewatch Kill la Kill, and I wanna watch Bramar. So that's gonna be another month. Then I'm also gonna have like a month where I watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes. That's gonna be fun. Maybe that's gonna be 2 months maybe, because Legend of the Galactic Heroes is really long. And another long thing I want to watch is Ashita no Joe. And then I also want to watch the Monogatari series eventually. So yeah, then there's also another month that's just like free, like kinda random anime, where I wanna watch like cyberpunk type anime. I wanna watch Ghost in the Shell, I wanna watch Psycho Pass, and I wanna watch Akira. So that's also like an eventual month that I'm gonna get around to. And then I have a few anime that I haven't planned quite, where I'm gonna watch them, which is Durarara, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Monster, and Revolutionary Girl Utena. Although I think like Eva, Monster, and Revolutionary Girl Utena would be like a good theme. So actually, that's gonna be like their own month. I'm just gonna watch Eva, Monster, and Revolutionary Girl Utena. It's gonna be like a hipster month where I watch all of the hipster anime. But yeah, I don't really have a plan for Durarara. I guess I could watch it alongside Baccano, because I think Baccano is kind of like a similar theme to Durarara. But yeah, that's all the anime I have like in my plan to watch list. Now, like soon, oh yeah, today I got the official confirmation that I'm gonna start getting support because I'm autistic. That means I'm gonna be able to afford a bunch of shit that I otherwise couldn't afford, because all of my money goes towards like food and stuff. But yeah, I can get myself a nice vertical monitor, which means I'm going to be able to like make manga podcasts, maybe make like book videos, and just talk about books and manga, because I like reading books and manga. It's just been super inconvenient to do so. But now if I think like having a vertical monitor might make reading both books and manga really easy, because it doesn't have like the limitation of having to use like a device that's not really convenient. And so I can just use my computer hardware, which is way easier than any other hardware, and way smoother. It's less portable, which is an issue, but that doesn't matter. And portability, I can just get myself an old ThinkPad, which means that I'll be able to watch my Classics Cast anime while I'm in bed, which is also going to be great, because like the biggest problem with my Classics Cast anime is I can't watch them while I'm in bed. And if I'm gonna get like an old ThinkPad, I have a plan of installing Gen 2 on it, because that's just like the ultimate power move, to have like a raised out Gen 2 on like an old ThinkPad. And I'm gonna learn all of the like Vim key binding stuff, because I don't really want to use my mouse too much if I have a laptop. But yeah, I'm gonna have the ThinkPad, and that means I can watch all of I can have redundant copies of all the anime I wanna watch on my ThinkPad, and then I can also use it to store stuff for work on stuff when I'm in a train or whatever. Laptops are kinda convenient. Who could have ever thought that laptops might have been convenient? But yeah, it's gonna be nice when I have a laptop, because I've never really had a good laptop. I've had a bunch of laptops that I really didn't want to use, but if I have a ThinkPad, I have a feeling and if I have completely raised out Gentoo on it, that should function buttery smoothly, But I have a feeling that I'll really like using my ThinkPad. I ran into a downside of using Arch recently, that being on Gentoo, for example, would solve, but that's kind of a bit too much for me, actually. But there's a thing in the Arch user repository that hasn't been properly updated, and it doesn't work with the newest dependencies that it kinda needs for other things. So what this means is that I can't really use this thing, because I don't know how to create a make package file. I will eventually have to learn how to create a make package file, because it's just a useful skill to have, but I didn't feel like doing it today, so I kinda rely on packages that other people have made for the Arch user repository. So even though it works like a charm most of the time, it's just this real edge case where I'm using really obscure software that has another dependency that just got updated for the first time after 2 years. So, or maybe not 2 years, more 8 years, I think, yeah. So yeah, this is this corner case where my thing just doesn't work properly. But yeah, I've also had 2 days of drinking recently, but I couldn't afford rum, because what I usually drink is rum and coke. That's my go-to drink for usual consumption. But in the past 2 days I couldn't afford rum, so I've been drinking vodka. So yesterday I drank vodka and a Red Bull equivalent, because actual Red Bull is too expensive. If you want the energy drink and if you want it to taste like Red Bull, either for cocktails or just because you're addicted to caffeine, you just look around your local store and there's 100% chance that you can find an energy drink that tastes like Red Bull, works like Red Bull, buys half the price of Red Bull, because Red Bull is really incredibly expensive. I know it's cool to have the Red Bull cans, because Red Bull cans are cool to use, they're cool to look at, they feel good, they feel nice. But you can get you can save so much money on it if you're drinking Jaeger bombs, or just Jaeger and Red Bull, or vodka and Red Bull. You can just substitute the Red Bull for many other energy drinks, because what Red Bull fundamentally is this sour tasting apple drink, right? And emulating the taste isn't that hard, and you just put a bunch of caffeine in it and it's basically the same thing. Just look for alternatives for Red Bull, because it's really not a great place to spend your money on. I guess Red Bull doesn't really taste like apple, it just tastes kinda fruity. Okay. But for me it's just fruity flavors are the most associated with apples, because that's just what you have the most here when I was growing up. Apples are really plentiful here. So when you talk about fruits to people here, it's you're basically talking about apples, because they're one of the only fruits that grow in our climate. We can properly grow apples and we can grow pears, and that's about it. We can't grow bananas or grapes or watermelon or any of the actually good fruits. So yeah, I grew up eating a lot of apples, and now it's when something tastes vaguely fruity in a really unplaceable way, because Red Bull doesn't really taste like apple, it just tastes like something that could taste like apple, I guess. Yeah, it just has a slight weird fruity taste. It's probably not derived from any actual fruit either, just some fructose or whatever, and sour, some type of acid. It's also kind of weird that people eat acid, because I don't get why people eat bitter or sour things and enjoy it, because I can't really enjoy bitter or sour tastes personally. And like they're kind of like bad tastes, so I don't get like they make like your face contort and stuff when you like eat them. Like they obviously provoke like a physical negative reaction, and people go like, "Wow, I like them." I mean, I guess the same thing could be said for like spicy food. But like with spicy food, at least there's like a thrill. It like makes your like whatever like it's called adrenaline surge, right? Because it's spicy, it feels like you're eating something dangerous, somewhat, right? Even though spicy food really isn't dangerous, but it has like the feeling of being dangerous, which is really appealing to me. But when it comes to like sour or bitter food, there's like no. I mean, I guess there's like a feeling of being refined or strong to withstand them, but I don't personally really get that. So for me personally, I don't really like sour or bitter food, so I'd much rather have something that tastes like sweet or salty or like meaty. That just, or yeah, that just might be me, But yeah, there are actually a lot of savings you can have with food if you're just like willing to look around enough. Like recently what's been happening here is there are like no normal tomatoes for purchase anywhere. Like you can get the expensive tomatoes, which are great. Like the expensive tomatoes just taste great, they feel great, they're just overall great, but they're expensive. Because if tomatoes are like the one vegetable, you actually get like a higher term for like a higher price. Because tomatoes are like really sensitive to like all kinds of things. And like the closer the tomatoes are to being fresh, the better they taste. So it's kinda like the tomatoes are like just like really price dependent oftentimes. So I will get the more expensive tomatoes on occasion. Like I'm not gonna make like a firm stance against expensive tomatoes because they're good and they're worth the money. If this was any other vegetable, I would be like mad, but I'm not mad here. Like the Kendrick Lamar lyric, I ain't mad, I'm just stressing. I think that's a Kendrick Lamar lyric, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like I don't want to spend this much money on a tomato, right? I don't want to spend like this much money on tomatoes because tomatoes I can get for cheap usually. But there just haven't been any cheap tomatoes recently. We've just had like these really expensive tomatoes or like weird tomatoes. But like no normal cheap tomatoes that I would usually get. But it's not a big deal. I can cope with it. I just wish I had the tomatoes that I can usually get because I'm autistic and it turns out that autistic people really care about habits. But then here's this thing that I was really freaking out about a lot, like almost a year ago now, because they discontinued the one type of sausage I liked to eat back then, because there were like these sausages that tasted like kid sausages, but they were like those tiny sausages, right? And it's like almost a rule that the more like the smaller a sausage gets, the worse it's gonna taste usually, right? Because it just tastes bad if it's like sausages need to be like really properly prepared. And usually any like small sausages are like really bad because there's like getting like good sausages is almost an art form because it's really hard to get good sausages sometimes and you really have to know what you're looking for. So for a while I couldn't eat any sausages, which was bad because like a lot of my diet was based on sausages because I only eat like 3 meals like and I just rotate between them. They can be like anything. Sometimes they're like tortillas or like spaghetti bolognese and like I know something else like pizza, let's say. Right now my 3 meals that I'm like rotating between on a consistent basis are like spaghetti, cheese and sausages, which is my all-time favorite meal to have in general. Then I also eat pizza pretty regularly, and I guess the other like slot is something that's based on minced meat, which is either spaghetti bolognese or gyoza. It can be either or, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I guess I'm rotating through 4 different meals, except one of those meals just has or rather 2 of those meals just have a lower weight than the other meals, because I predominantly eat pizza and pasta with spaghetti, with like cheese and sausages. But I will sometimes and this is fairly regularly, I will eat either gyoza or spaghetti bolognese, but less often than other 2 meals. I guess on occasion, if I want chicken, I will eat something chicken based too. But that has like an even lower weight. And I make sure to eat my vegetables now, because for a long time I didn't really generally eat vegetables, and I know in hindsight it seems like such an obvious thing, like, oh, why didn't you eat vegetables? But at the time I was just like, oh, I don't need to eat vegetables. Why would I eat vegetables? I can just eat whatever I want, and since I'm autistic, I can't really like create a new meal. Then I went through a phase where I started eating vegetables, and I immediately felt better about everything. So now I know that you have to eat vegetables to feel decent. So I make sure to eat enough vegetables, even though it's usually just tomatoes. Like the majority of my vegetable intake just comes from tomatoes, because that's just my favorite vegetable, and I'm autistic. But yeah, now I eat vegetables, and anyway, back then they stopped making those sausages, so I could only buy like really bad sausages, which was awful, because I wanted to eat the meal I always eat, but it was like physically impossible for me to eat that meal. So it was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? How am I going to live now? It was like literally an existential question. I was freaking out about it for like weeks, or like even maybe like months, until I discovered a new sausage that's also good. They're like small sausages, but like what I do is I buy like a fairly large, like I think it's like a pound heavy. I don't fucking know American units, but I think it's around a pound of like Krakow sausage, which if you haven't had before, it's like this like smoked sausage in like this U shape, and it's really good if you get like good ones. They're like bad Krakow sausages too, but they're good ones too, and that's what matters, because you don't have to have like the bad sausages. I just have to have the good sausages. So now that I know that they're good sausages, I can go back to having my favorite meal. And you can also have sausage with mashed potatoes, and it's great. And you just like get some potatoes, you get some milk, you just mash them up, and then eat them with some vegetables and sausages, and it's great. It's fantastic. And sometimes, if you wanna really like splurge, right, you don't do pasta and cheese. You go full on out to make like a proper mac and cheese with like a nice cheese sauce, which is also really nice. But you don't have to like really have like a cheese sauce. You can just, like, a lot of people think that the way to combine pasta and cheese is to have a cheese sauce, but you can just melt cheese into pasta and it functions perfectly well as like a sauce. Even though it's not like, obviously it's not going to be as good as a cheese sauce, but it takes so much less effort. It works like perfectly well. So you can be like, oh, that's wretched, that like, but it depends on the cheese, I guess, because it just feels and looks completely normal. It doesn't really look off, I mean, unless you let it cool, because if you let it cool, then it just becomes like a blob of cheese with some pasta stuck in it, and at that point, yeah, it is wretched, but I don't care, I still eat it. I'm not gonna reheat it. Oh, here's another thing I don't get, is why people like are so temperature sensitive when it comes to food, because like, when I'm eating melted ice cream, I'm not like upset that the ice cream melts. I'm just like, oh, this is like a different form to enjoy the same treat. Now, do I prefer solid ice cream? Marginally, because it's just like a more satisfying experience to eat. But not really because of the temperature. Like, if ice cream wasn't cold, I would still enjoy it like almost as much. The coolness is just like a bit of like a spice, right? It gives it a bit of like that frozen touch, which is a nice thing to feel on your tongue. But like, that's like a unique sensation for me. That's not really tied to taste. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. And same with warm food. Like, I don't really need to feel to have like a warm meal, right? Like, if I have leftovers, I don't need, like, reheating leftovers doesn't do anything for me. And A lot of people who don't have autism in my life go like, oh, you need to reheat them. You need to reheat all of this food. Please reheat all of this food. How can you eat it cold? But I'm like, how does reheating help the food? I enjoy it perfectly fine when it's cold, and I can just take like pasta or like mashed potatoes or whatever out the fridge and just like eat it and not feel bad about it at all. Because like I'm not really like sensitive to temperature when it comes to food. Like I'm sensitive to a lot of things. I'm really sensitive to texture, and that's again because of the autism, right? I can't really eat foods with like a bad texture. Like I can't really eat toast on a regular basis because it cuts up the roof of my mouth, and that just bothers me a lot. So I can't really eat toast on a regular basis, and I can't really eat anything that's like overly crunchy actually. Like I don't really like crunchy foods in general. I would rather eat like non-crunchy foods. Like when given an option to get like ice cream in a cone or in like a paper, like one of those bowls that they give you, I will always take the bowl even if there's like no additional charge for the cone, because it's just so much more convenient for me to eat from the bowl because I get a nice spoon, right? I get to measure out my bites. And I don't have to deal with the cone, and I can just throw away the bowl because I really don't want to eat the cone when I'm eating ice cream. Now sometimes the cone is like nice and soft and like feels really nice to eat, but like I don't want to eat any of the crunchy cones. I don't like the crunchy cones at all because they just feel bad on my teeth and in my mouth. And like when something is like really sticky too, like that bothers me. Like I can't eat anything overly sticky either, or like slimy, I guess. Like I can handle like chewy and squishy and all of those like flavor or textures rather. Like those I can handle perfectly well. And when something is like slightly crunchy, like it doesn't really have like a crunch to it, but it has like a hardness to it, that's completely fine too. I don't have anything against it. But it's just like eating foods that are like nice to eat, I guess, in my mouth. And it's hard to explain, but like if you have autism, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Even like chicken tendies, right? If they're like the batter is too hard, it bothers me. Because the tendies themselves might be like nice and soft, but if the batter is like rough and harsh on my tongue and the roof of my mouth, I'm like, it just feels bad for me. But that is just supreme autism. But he opened up a KFC here a bit ago, and I'm not here in another city, but whenever I go to like the capital where the KFC is, I get like a menu item, and I found out that all of the KFC menu items are bad. I got like a KFC burger, I got like a KFC tortilla, like on both occasions, and I did not enjoy either. Like I really like the chicken, so next time I'm just gonna get like a box of chicken to eat. Oh, it's also really like fun to figure out how like endless refills are just kind of like a meta scam, right? Because when you go to like a fast food place, you're like used to getting scammed for like your drinks, right? So you go and you pay like $1 for like a small drink that if you had bought it from the store, you would have paid like 40 cents for, right? So when you go into KFC, you get a drink, right, that you would have paid like 40 cents for, and you pay $1 for it. But since you get endless free refills, you get to have like $1 worth of liquid in the drink by the time you leave. So it's like, oh, this is like such a great benefit, but like in reality, you're just drinking too much if you want to like exploit your endless refills, and you didn't really get more value than what you paid anyway. But it's fine too. The one thing I don't get is why anyone ever gets like mediums or larges in like places where you have like forever refills, right? Because there's like no reason to get like a medium or a large drink, like because you're just paying for the cup, right? So why would you pay like 20 cents more for like a larger cup? Because you're not actually paying for the soda, because you can get as much soda as you want, like unless you're just so scared of walking a bit. But But yeah, you can just get as much soda as you could ever possibly want. So why would you pay that much money for like the cup? I sincerely don't understand that, because for me it's just so obvious to get like the smallest cup. Maybe it's like a guilt thing where you go like, oh, if I get a small and I'm gonna constantly be walking to refill it, you'll feel like shameful. But like at the end of the day, you're still like paying market price at most, because you're never gonna be like exploiting the store or whatever. Like even if you like, let's say you buy like a fucking dollar cup that you can refill, and you get $1.20 of like soda, right? It doesn't even matter at all, because they're not getting the soda for market price. They're getting the soda for way cheaper. So even though you get like $1.20 of market price soda, for like the restaurant itself that costs maybe like 50 cents, and they still pay like $1 for it. So it doesn't matter for them at all. So like why would you ever get like a cup aside from like a small cup and you get free refills? But I guess the reason it works is that people have been conditioned that small drinks are always a bad deal. So people always automatically get like a medium drink, right? So because they know that like small drinks are a bad deal, so they look at like the small drink and the medium drink, they go like, people who buy the large drink are losers, because they can just get free refills with like the medium drink. So the people who buy large drinks are losers, but like I'm smart, I'm buying the medium drink because I know that in every fast food establishment that's the best deal for your money. They go like, okay, I'm gonna get like a medium drink, and in the back of their minds, obviously, they realize that getting a small drink and a medium drink would be equivalent. So they go like, hey, I don't really want to stand up like from my desk like 4 times, and if I get a medium, I'm only gonna have to stand up 2 times. So they go like, okay, I'm gonna be really smart and get a medium. And so they get that medium drink, right? They go and okay, I'm gonna go get a medium drink, and they think that they got like a good deal, but like they have gotten an even better deal if they got like a small drink. But like it definitely, I drank too much soda when I got the small drink and free refills, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my value. I'm just gonna drink as much as I possibly can. And I was already full. Like by the time I had finished like half of my burger, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna chill here, and I'm gonna just drink this soda. I'm just gonna drink this soda. And then I had to pee, and the bathroom in the train wasn't great because I had to take a train back to home. That's another issue. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's just something something I was thinking about for a while. But yeah, it's I've also completely switched over to The Binding of Isaac as like the game to like keep my hands busy, because usually the game I used to keep my hands busy was Tetris. But over the past week now, what you saw here in the recording was my first Binding of Isaac playthrough. It was like a week ago, where I just got back in the game, but I never really got like out of the game. So right now I have like a bunch of like Satan kills, and I have one Isaac kill, and I have one Lamb kill, and that's pretty cool because I get to just play the game in like a cool way, and just start from the start and keep my hands busy when I'm in like a Discord call, or when I'm like doing something like listening to some music, for example, because it's way more fun than Tetris, at least in my current situation, because I can't play like the fun Tetris. I have to settle for like the less fun Tetris that I even blocked on my old computer for a while, because it was just like, is that not fun sometimes? But yeah, I've just been keeping my hands busy with Isaac, which is really nice, because yeah, I really like Isaac, and a new DLC is also coming out soon, so that's gonna be kind of fun when that comes out, although it's the soon just means whatever. But yeah, like there are a bunch of games that I want to like get around to playing, but I really haven't. Like I need to finish this releasing, but I also had to start from like the beginning. So that's not great, but it's fine. But yeah, then I also have to play Valhalla and World of Horror, because both of those games are something I really wanna play. And after that, I might play some visual novels instead of playing like other things, because No Frankie has been getting really into visual novels, and he's been like talking about some really cool visual novels. Super Hebe was really cool, at least it seemed like. And then there's also like a train visual novel, and I like trains, like in general. I think trains are pretty cool. So yeah, those are all really really cool, and yeah, it's just nice. I might just play a lot of visual novels, but I don't really know what the future holds, because Valhalla and the World of Horror are both like kind of visual novels. So that's gonna be nice, because I like reading. I genuinely do like reading. It's just, it requires a specific mood, and like a visual novel is just really easy way to create that mood, or like a manga, because it's I don't know, I just really like all of that stuff. It's just like reading is really fun for me, and reading a book is fun. Just kind of hard to get into it, you know. But like, yeah. Anyway, what else was I talking about? Because I think I was talking about something. Oh yeah, Disco Elysium too. Yeah, Disco Elysium has been really fun, and I really wanna just play more Disco Elysium, because I've been having a lot of fun with it, and basically it's kind of exhausting to play because I don't know where to go, and then it's like, okay, I don't know where to go, what am I supposed to do? And now I have to start from the beginning, which isn't really fun, but it's just fine enough, I guess. I'm not gonna be mad because I have to start again. But yeah, there's also like in Hollow Knight I have to beat the final like Penfin some point, which isn't really great, because I'm not really having that much fun with the final Penfian, but and I just feel like it's incomplete. So I'm really just waiting for Silk Song, because I'm really excited for Silk Song, and I know that I'll have like a lot of fun with it, but it's just something I have to wait for. It's probably coming out really soon, but I know when it's coming out. But yeah, there are a lot of like game things are coming out soon that I'm like kind of excited for, I guess. I just like I wish I had the energy to play games, because like I like watching anime. Playing games is like really hard for me, and unlike watching anime, I really don't have like the expertise to talk about games, because it's like I'm not really like invested in games, and in like the same way I'm in anime, right? I don't watch like hours of game videos on YouTube, like in the same way I watch like hours of anime videos, right? Also, I just got like a clicking frenzy in Cookie Clicker, so I'm gonna click my mouse a bit. I'm gonna go like click 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 click. So yeah, I was talking about this before. Like I just have Cookie Clicker constantly open now, because it like really lets me concentrate on whatever, whether that's like recording a podcast or watching an anime or whatever. And the downside is I can't use my Cookie Clicker Elite strats to like play a game, because you usually need your mouse and stuff to play a game. Doesn't really matter that much, it's fine either way. But yeah, it's just like the closest thing I could do to talking about games is to give them like a section on Gamer Girl ASMR, but that's like a bunch of effort, and Gamer Girl ASMR is gonna come to an end soon. When I finish Disco Elysium and Valhalla and World of Horror, I might make a video. It's like, oh, you don't even read games or whatever, because like I've been discovering that clickbait titles work. Because recently I made a video that's like why I don't love Arch Linux. It's because I'm mentally handicapped. It was total clickbait, and it worked really well. which is kinda insane because yeah, it's just clickbait just works. It just works. Yeah, and I put a lot of effort into recording my Trial of the Unknown Tape audiobook, but no one has really finished it yet. So I'm just kind of waiting for people to like watch that entire video, because I think it would be cool to have that video watched, because I spent like a lot of time making it, and it's a book that I spent a lot of time writing, and yeah, in general I want people to be like watching my Trial of the Unknown Tape video, but I get why people aren't like, I'm not like salty that people aren't watching the audiobook because it's really long, and I know that a bunch of people will probably get around to it later, maybe. Like, I'm not really sure, but like, I mean, if they don't get around to it, they might buy the book, you know. Because I've seen like a bunch of people buy the book recently, even before I finished the audiobook. So it's like, it's kind of cool that people are caring about this book now that I wrote a while ago. Like, that's a cool thing with books, because like unlike things like YouTube videos, books last for a really long time. Books never really like go out of style in the same way, because like you can write a book and people will be reading that book for like 4 years, like no matter how the book is, because like books are perceived to not go out of date. But like with a YouTube video, if it's like a week old, it's already like past its prime, right? It's old news and basically out of date. So it's like the YouTube videos just don't have longevity, and there are things that have like even less longevity, like tweets, for example. So yeah, I kind of like making things with more longevity, like albums have been fun. Like, I really like making music because it also has like this factor of longevity, you know. Like, small drawings don't really have longevity unless they like permeate themselves through culture, because like a book that like permeates itself through culture has a ton of longevity. Although like a book that doesn't, or a picture that doesn't really have any longevity at all, you know, because like pictures are about like spread, right? Like the way that a picture has longevity is if it spreads enough. And this thing doesn't really happen with like music or books, because people can just discover a music or like an album like fairly easily. But like, same isn't true for pictures, because the way you can, like, pictures are very shareable, but they can usually get like drowned out unless you're looking for like a specific picture, I guess. So yeah, in general, I just like art forms with like longer lifespans, I guess, more. Which is why I like writing to a large extent, and I'm actually kind of excited to get back to writing once I finish my current like anime binge, because I'm gonna be like watching anime for like a week from now, and after that I'm probably gonna get back to writing. And that's also like a good thing with writing, is you get to like put it on hold for a while and then you can get back to it, and it won't really lose momentum in the same way like something else would. Because like if you like don't make a YouTube video for like a week, it might lose almost all of its momentum, because like it just takes a long time. It's like a form of art that itself like has like that like staying power, you know. I know what I mean. I'm talking about right now. I'm quite honestly like this is like the point where I'm like just feeling in time and just talking about like random things that might be relevant. A weird thing that I really like to do is I like to Google myself. And it's like, oh, why do you like to Google yourself? That's weird, but like I really just like feel like the need to like just be familiar with the things like I did, I guess. So it's like I don't know, it's like and it's hard to describe, but it's like this like specific, like you get like a sense of how you affect culture in general, and you get like a feel of like how people think of you and how people have like interacted with the things you've been putting out into the world, and it's like this like really like surreal feeling, even if you get to like see the influence you have. Now sometimes you have influence that you don't want to have, and you might even think that the influence you have is kind of cringe, and that's completely fair, because having influence in itself is inherently cringe. But the thing is that like, yeah, even if the influence you have is cringe, because influence itself is inherently cringe, it's still like something that you get to witness, I guess. I mean, I don't just do it for myself though. I do it for people I know too sometimes, because it's just something I'm obsessed with, I guess. It's like the idea of like things perpetuating themselves through culture, I guess. Or like things like a part of culture influences the rest of culture, I know it's really weird to describe, because like it's hard. It's like, if you haven't experienced it before, it's like such a surreal feeling, and it's something you kind of just have to experience. I mean, you don't have to experience it. Like, you don't need to understand it at all. Like, I wouldn't even say that understanding it is a good thing. But like, it's the biggest mindfuck. Now it turns out that before I called myself Toadsmite, there was like a Tumblr blog that is now inactive that was also called Toadsmite, and this person had like a lot of like social media platforms and whatever. So I don't know if I've been like mentioned anywhere ever, but it doesn't really matter if I've been mentioned anywhere as Toadsmite, because like, I mean, I know like the main place where my stuff is spreading is Discord, because that's just where I'm the most active and I know the most people. So it's not like I would show up on Google anyway. But it's just, I know, it's like fluid dynamics, I guess. Like you know how fluid dynamics work, where like one fluid just permeates through another fluid, right? That's like the kind of feeling you get when you're like witnessing your own influence or someone else's influence. It just feels like you're watching fluid dynamics. I know, it's like a really weird thing. It's like a really weird thing to be, but like, it's just something to witness. It's just kind of pretty, I guess. It's also like, I know, I also really like using pseudonyms, because it lets me completely escape identity, and I don't have to like be bound to like any identity. So like, I get to have influence through like a non-me person who isn't like in any way tied to who I actually am. But like, it doesn't really matter. It's just a spectacle, I guess. Yeah, that's the best way. I know I'm just gonna ramble right now, because I'm honestly having like a really hard time concentrating and trying to be like understandable. But yeah, I mean, the podcast is almost over too, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed Gamer Girl ASMR as a series. I hope you got something out of like this entire experience, because I know I did, like, definitely, but I don't know if this like applied to anyone else. But I don't know, it doesn't matter. But yeah, yeah, I'm already planning my next like podcast vlog type thing. It's it's just gonna be a one-off thing next time too. And I might do like a soft voice vlog if there's demand, like a long soft voice vlog, but it's probably gonna be like 30 minutes. Like I might do like, I might start a new series that's like a new type ramble where it just comes out when it comes out. That's like, maybe I say like a mini ramble, let's say, or not mini ramble, mini ASMR, let's say. So that might be like a series where I'm doing like mini ASMRs. Yeah, that might be nice. So yeah, I mean, that might be happening. Like, this is not. I'm not gonna say that anything is gonna happen, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed either way, and I'm happy that a lot of people enjoyed this series, and I'm really happy that it was at least as fun as it was until it ended, even though like it might not have been like the most fun thing to do. And I'm really hoping that you like check out like anything they might make next. It's fine as it is. It's fine as it is. I just sincerely hope that you enjoyed everything,